Редакція.
What is your main mission during Ukrainian elections?
Our mission here is to observe the election process, to meet with different organizations, Ukrainian organizations, such as Opora and Chesno. We meet with the police departments. We meet with the candidate parties in order to understand and watch how the election process is unfolding. Our role is to monitor, not to interfere. We are to be independent. And at the end of the election process, the end result is not our objective. Our objective is to record what we have seen, to see if how Ukraine is measuring up to international election standards.
Who finances your mission?
The Canadian government.
And all of your reports are public, or some of them just for government?
No, they're all public. They will go on our website. They will go to your government. They will go to the CEC, to CVK.
So how many observers do you have right now?
We have on the ground currently 50 long-term observers in all of the oblasts where elections will be held, and we will then have an additional 128 arriving the week just a little bit before the elections and staying after for about 4 days. And Canada also has a commitment to OSCE to provide 15% of their total, which they are doing, and that is another 15 long-term observers and 112 short-term observers, making Canada's total 305.
How many observers will be in Odessa?
There are 2 long-term observers here, and they have been here for the first round since February, and then now they have been here for 2 weeks, and they will be joined by 6 more short-term observers, and they will be going. The other observers will be in other areas like Ismail, etc.
Please tell me observer requirements.
To be an observer, you generally are someone who has an interest in the election process, promoting democracy, perhaps a political science student at university, a teacher, it can be a doctor, a lawyer, people that just have an interest in promoting democracy in the world.
Do observers get some money for being here?
The long-term observers are paid an honorarium, a daily honorarium for their work here. Many people leave their jobs to come here, and so they have some compensation, but the short-term observers are strictly volunteers, and their expenses, their flight is paid here, but they are not paid a salary.
Have you witnessed any violation already?
We have been watching. Our legal analyst has been going through the courts, attending the sessions in the courts, and there have been a number of small, I wouldn't even call them huge violations, but just court challenges. So we are aware of those. One of the issues that we have our eye on very much is the cloning of candidate names. This is something that is a new experience for our observers, and so we are very watchful of that. And then the other thing is, of course, billboard signage. Are they legal? Are they properly put up? Advertising, electioneering, access to media. These are the types of things that we're looking for. And so far, everything is just really starting to come to the peak. Maybe this week now we're going to get into an area where we may witness some of that.
So cloning candidates, it's just Ukrainian stuff, not for Canada. There's nothing like that in Canada, yeah?
Well, no, I can't say that I can recall that happening. We have many less candidates.
So in your opinion, this huge amount of the candidates, it's good or bad for people?
It's different, and it's an opportunity for everyone. I mean, you want to be a candidate, and you can raise, the 40,000 hryvnia, you could be a candidate. Is this the most effective way for democracy to unfold? Well, that will be seen.
For now, invitation for observers from European Parliamentary Assembly is cancelled. So what does it mean for Ukraine?
What does it mean? Well, Ukraine has its political strategy, its foreign policy strategy, and it just means you're not going to have observers from some countries. You will have many observers as it is. I think, the contingent that comes from many organizations of the world will be more than enough to have eyes on the ground.
Now it's a lot of rumors that elections will be disrupted. Have you heard about that?
No, I have not had that rumor, though, on the first and second round of the presidential, there were rumors of potentially disruption, and none happened, as you know. So perhaps these are very feisty, lively elections with many, many candidates. And so I think this type of rumor is hopefully just a rumor.
I was traveling by train and I witnessed one situation when a man from Canada who was observer on elections right the day after it was criticized people who vote for Zelensky because he was supported Poroshenko.
That, I think, is one of the strongest tenets of being an election observer, is to follow the international standards and principles. So that type of a commentary by an observer is very disappointing.
But it must be tough to choose observers in Canada because a lot of Canadian Ukrainians are supporting Poroshenko.
A lot of Ukrainian Canadians were in support of those that live there. However, when you become an election observer, you sign a code of conduct, and your honor is at stake, right? And so obviously that person didn't take that seriously enough. I'd like to think that that's an exception, and I'd like to think that our observers follow the letter of the law and honor the commitment they've made. We do have a very strong Ukrainian-Canadian community. 1.4 million now identify themselves on our census as being of Ukrainian background. So the ties are very close, as you know, and we have a percentage, but not a high, maybe 40% or less, are of Ukrainian-Canadian background. We sit and we talk about each of the parties, their platform, how they're presenting, how they're advertising, and we look at that as impartially as we can.
Редакція.